Hello sports fans, it's Larry Eder with RunBlogRun and the Running Network, and we're in Chicago. And the Chicago Marathon happened today, so your moment of Larry is about the Chicago Marathon. It was a strange race today. Florence Kiplagat and the top women, with Edna Kiplagat in there, Atsede Bayesa, who was at Valentine Kip-Keter, whose brother Gideon Kip-Keter was in the men's race. The women's race went out fast. They went out at 2:20 pace the whole time, and it was 13, then it was 7, and then it was 6, and then it was 5, and at 19 miles, Florence Kiplagat, who won last year, took off, ran 2:21:32. Afterwards, her coach, Renato Canova, known for his hyperbole, so I'm just warning you, said that she was at 70% fitness. Well, she's run a 2:19:44 when she was fit. I think she can run 2:16 or 2:17. And she was so happy today, as was Carrie Pinkowski, the race director, because the women's race was fantastic. The men's was a totally different story. This race didn't know what it was. Was it a city marathon? Was it a championship race? The men went out terribly, terribly slow, going through the first half in 1:06, which all of us know is about a 2:12 marathon pace, which meant, yes, you're going to have the slowest race since 1993 in Chicago. But the race got wound up, and there'd be a fast mile, and the group would get broken up, and Luke Pescadra and Diego Estrada would come back to the group. They did that twice. Then at 19 miles, the race broke open. It was Gideon Kip-Keter, it was Abel Karui, and it was Dickson Chumba, who won last year, taking off. They ran miles in 4:44, 4:37, 4:41, 4:42, 4:41, 4:44. At 24 miles, Gideon Kip-Keter dropped back and finished third, just like his sister had in the women's race. Came down to Dickson Chumba and Abel Karui. Now, Dickson's won this race before, but Abel Karui, 2 world championships and silver medal in London 2012. It was fascinating to watch them both because Dickson looked totally relaxed. He was well within himself, wasn't even looking at Karui. And at 24 miles, one of the guys near me said, put a $5 down and said, I think Chumba's going to win. Just about the time he said that, Abel Karui went off in one of his mad sprints, and he was grimacing in the whole 9 yards. Chumba pulled him back, but at 25 miles, Karui did another one and started to get a little bit of daylight. But it wasn't until 26 miles, over the last 0.2 of a mile, that Karui took off and he won the race. And afterwards he told us that he needed to win a race in the U.S. He needed to show his sponsors just how good he was. And at the end of that, he said 2 other things. 1, he finally had listened to his coach, Renato Canova, and 2, next spring he wanted to race Eliud Kipchoge and Kenenisa Bekele. I think that could be a fantastic race, and we believe that race may be across the pond, but we'll have to wait for details. But 41,350 people started today in Chicago, in the lovely Windy City. The conditions were perfect. It's a lovely course. It's a great city. It's moderately priced to stay in hotels and meals. The races cost a lot, but that's a whole different subject. We'll approach that later. But it was a great race for all concerned. This is Larry Eder signing off with a moment of Larry for October 9th, 2016, the Bank of America Chicago Marathon.